Dolls by Dear here. This is a ranking review for Don't Say No. Now, this is one of those stories where you're talking about guys. Now, I'm going to assume they're in high school. It just seems as though this is a high school show. I mean, it might be that they're in college, but I'm getting the whole... Yeah, I can't quite tell. Because they don't really come across as being adult enough for it to be college, given the backstory. But I know it's not that important. I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear in what I'm saying here. So anyway, this is a story about two guys. And they've lived together ever since they were kids. Mainly because one of the boys runs away from home. And he goes to his best friend's house. And his best friend's family decides that they're going to take him in. And so they allow him to remain there. And so, you know, he kind of lives back and forth between the two homes, but he's usually at his best friend's house. So as the years have gone by, the best friend has taken on more of a role of a caretaker. And the end result is the runaway is now pretty much a dependent, spoiled brat who's just bratty. Okay. So anyway, now they're older and somewhat, one of them anyway, is unable to express their actual feelings for the other. So they kind of remain in this kind of off-center, they, you know, we're friends, but we're more than friends, maybe kind of, but not really. So they kind of go back and forth for years. Okay. Now, by the way, this summary is not a spoiler. All of this is kind of covered in the first episode. So I'm just telling you what the setup for what this is about. Okay. Now both of the guys are popular in their school. Okay. They're basketball players. The one guy is sexy, cute, rich, you know, so they're popular. So as these two are going back and forth in this kind of awkward dance of friendship and so forth, eventually it sort of goes into a friendship, love, obsession type thing. And so, you know, from the beginning of the show, they cross into the line of relationship territory, but then... it's like all hell breaks loose as they, you know, that's where the story kind of starts at that point in which they have to contend with family, friends, their past, their commitments, if they really have feelings and so forth. So that's the gist of what the story is about. Now, it is a little bit lighthearted kind of at some points, but then other points are really... angsty and deep. So it's sort of one of those, it's kind of hard to just put it in a category and say, hey, this is this story, because it's a little convoluted in that regard. So kind of getting to the point of what are the kinds of things that you need to know if you are going to watch this show. So first off, this is a follow-up. All right. Now I don't know if they have I think there's a movie that came out after this that was like a wrap up as opposed to them actually creating a season 2. And now I can't say for sure because I don't really remember. This came out a while ago. And I'm pretty sure I've seen it because I think they have like a short film. So there's season 1 and then there's kind of a vacation type episode that sort of puts a bow on it, and it seems as though they were gonna make a season 2, but I'm not sure what happened to it. Basically, I'll put it this way: if it turns out there is a season 2, or if there's a clean enough version of the other show that goes with this and it shows up somewhere, I'll just add it to the playlist. In that way it'll be on the same playlist regardless. So anything else that comes out about this series, I'll add it if I see it. But for the time being, this just has the censored version of season 1. Now I'm specifying the censored version because that does make somewhat of a difference. It's not a huge difference in this story, but it will make a difference in terms of whether or not you're going to really like this one. All right, so basic info about it. There's about 12 episodes. Each is about an hour. It kind of falls into the PG-13 arena. If you're watching the censored version, it'll hit the R arena if you're watching the uncensored version, but that's only like a few episodes. So it's not like the whole thing would be rated R. It's like maybe 2 episodes might hit the R button, and that's pushing it. Don't get me wrong, the guys do a great job with the scenes that they have in it, and it is appropriate for the ages that they're supposed to be representing. In that regard, they really do a good job. I'm not saying they did not. It's just that, you kind of have to bear in mind that, we are talking about a show that came out quite some time ago. So, yeah. Well, anyway, let me move on so I don't get too far in the weeds with that one. So neither the censored or uncensored version is considered much of an NSFW. Because there's just not a lot. And the scenes that are kind of naughty are somewhat subtle. So unless somebody's really standing over your shoulder watching the show with you, they probably wouldn't even know that the scene you're looking at is one of those that you probably shouldn't be watching anyway at work. Now, the other very important thing to note about this show is that season 1 of this show actually starts, or I should say preseason, with Tharn Type. So you need to watch Tharn Type season 2 to get the gist and understanding of what's going on when you start watching Don't Say No. Without that, you'll catch on, but it loses a lot of the importance and the nuance. Like, what the hell is really going on between these two guys gets lost in the weeds if you don't see Tharn Type 2. Okay, just so that you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what's happening. Now, luckily, with the time that I'm making this clip, Tharn Type 1 and 2 have both been re-released on YouTube. I'll have them in a playlist too if I don't have them up there already. So you can go back and watch it. It is as far as I know, they're both the censored version. So, be that as it may, it's still going to cover the gist of what you need to know about these two characters who are in Don't Say No. And I think it's Leo and Fiat, if I'm correct. Those are the character names. So you'd be able to see that on YouTube, on one of the other playlists. And they're both of them, Tharn Type 1 and 2 and Don't Say No, are all easy and good. They're decent films, so you're not going to have to, it's not like you have to suffer through it in order to get the gist of the story like some of these other shows out here. It's pretty good. Okay, so now that I've set that stage, what is the actual ranking on here? It is a 10. Now, this is not an over-the-moon 10, but it is a jump for joy 10, in that, yes, they do have, a storyline that's good. It checks all the boxes. You've got the guys act like guys. They play sports. They have good sex scenes. It's a pretty good story. There's reasonable pacing. All of it is very good. The production quality. The music is a little bit, at some points, it's sort of like, ugh, but other than that, it's a really good story. Now, there's a little bit of the over-the-top side characterizations, where you have those, they're trying to make the points that the main characters can't, so they kind of do it in a way that's a tiny bit cringe, but it's not too bad. So it's not. They do a pretty good job. And as a small side note, I think that the main character who plays Leo, I have no idea what his real name is, he is one of the absolute cutest actors I've seen in a while. I mean, I have like my mental top 10 of Asian actors who I think are really cute. And He happens to be one of them. And it's funny because sometimes he just looks like all, you know, all the other guy type, you know, the standard. And then every now and then they'll pan over and do a close up, or he's laying down, or he's doing something different. And then suddenly it's like, wow, that kid is really cute. You know, he'll make a facial expression or something, and it's like, aw. That's just me, okay, you know, older woman here, you know, still looking all the, you know, oh my god, that's such an adorable baby type thing. Not that he doesn't look like a baby, I'm just saying he's cute. Let's see, what was I talking about? I totally got sidetracked on that one. Oh yes, so back to the actual story itself and why it ranks a 10, and why it, you know, might for some people not quite be a 10 like it is for me. But anyway, so the overall story is good. The parts that deal with their families, however, it's a bit much. You know, that part takes a little bit of head shaking, and okay, we're just going to fast forward past that because why, right? But the rest of the story that goes on between the guys and the other teens, that part of the story makes sense for the context of this story overall. So this isn't one of those scenarios where, you know, you wind up getting stuck trying to figure out, you know, what the hell just happened. It is very clear, very concise, and they do a good job with it. You know, and there's one other little side note. Yes, the main character is cute. And going back to him for a second, I saw him in a behind the scenes clip, and in this show, he's very cool. You know, he's calm. He doesn't have a whole hell of a plethora of emotion or anything. But I saw him in this like behind the scenes thing, and he came across as almost like a prankster, like one of those guys that's not quite silly, but a little bit. And his demeanor threw me off a bit because I'm like, wow, this is the same guy. But it was really nice seeing his real self, and the fact that it, you know, made everyone who's around him smile and whatnot. It was, you know, so overall, I do like the main character. I really like this story. Now, granted, this isn't one that I'd watch again. Like, I'm not going to watch it multiple times. You know, this is one that if I watch it again, it's just because I was watching Tharntype again, which I would watch that one over and over again. And I just happen to want to see how did the rest of the story end if I forget or something. Okay, so now that I've gone on and on about why I like it, I know you want to know, will you like it? Will you like this one? It depends. If you like all the story twists and turns and that kind of thing, if you like hot scenes, then you'll need to watch the uncensored version. If you see the uncensored one, you'll probably still like it. Now, if you have an extreme aversion to the bratty boy type, you know, the ones who whine all the damn time no matter what, you know, that kid that's, you know, the lime flavored ice cream just isn't green enough, then you're going to really hate the Fiat, the secondary character. Because I swear, that is a kid, his acting, not the actor, the character he's playing is one of those people you just want to hit him with a car every now and then. It's like, what the hell? You know, you have people bending over backwards, hand and foot, to cater to your every whim, and you're still complaining. You know, it's one of those characters. And so if you have an extreme aversion to that, you're not going to like it because, oh my God, he's got to be in every scene. And the crying game is ridiculous. Other than that, and then of course, if you don't like the over-the-top stereotypes, the pushy chicks, the dumb boy who's beyond dumb, those kind of things, they really kind of, especially since this is a spinoff from Tharntype, which is a very serious, down-to-earth show that's good. This one kind of takes you back to the, we're going to throw in everything in the kitchen sink to make sure that this story, it goes more towards what we're accustomed to even though Tharntype just took us away from that. So just as a balancing act here, this is not quite like Tharntype, but it is a continuation of. So anyway, so in general, this one has a lot of side stories. For most shows, the side stories would make absolutely no sense, but for this story, it makes sense only because it's sort of like that borderline ridiculous, but in a okay, I get it, because this is like, I don't know, eccentric rich people shit, kind of like, right, okay, good, whatever, right? But overall, it really is a good show. I know, I'm probably making it sound like, what the hell is she talking about? But no, this one really is. It's pretty good, in my opinion. And hopefully, you'll watch it and in your opinion too. Maybe you'll decide that you like it. So anyway, that's my opinion on the show. And my opinion might not match yours, as I said. And if you agree or disagree, then let me know. And other BL fans know your opinion in the comment section below. Because after all, if you like it, you'll love it. And if you don't, then you won't. This is Spidera, and I'll see you in the next one.